Well, do you know that India is one of the largest tractor manufacturing countries across the globe? Our market is too big that not only we feed in to our own market, but when it comes to exports, we are also in the top 3. And right now, I'm present at Escorts Kubota factory near the national capital, and joining me right now is Mr. Nikhil Nanda, who is the CMD of Escorts Kubota, and Mr. Kato, who is the joint managing director of the company. So first of all, many thanks for giving us your precious time.
Thank you.
Let's start with the industry questions first. We have seen in the recent past that how the government has reduced GST on tractors, which is also spurring demand. But on the other hand, GST also has a very indirect, probability when it comes to getting more money in the pocket. So how has this aided your company when it comes to the overall sales?
Thanks to the GST reduction, the industry has becoming a pickup, and the demand and the surged. So the sales and the production has been increased a lot to 20-30%. They still have back orders thankfully.
Right. So I want to firstly thank the government. I think it is a very good and a bold move, and the GST has enabled affordability and for larger farmers of our country to purchase mechanized tractors and other equipment, and we are seeing phenomenal demand. And after the announcement of GST, we are seeing tremendous walk-in of customers. And the tractors have become more competitive or cheaper for the end consumer, between 8 to 10%. And interestingly, we are also seeing that farmers are also wanting to buy larger horsepower tractors. So frankly speaking, for the last 2 to 3 months, both Kato and myself are having difficulty in producing the volume of tractors in terms of demand that we are seeing in the market. So in short, I think it's great for the country, it's good for our farming community, and we welcome this news and bold step by the government.
So, but if we talk about the GST cut per se, we are seeing that this cut is valid only on tractors which are less than 1800 HP, right? But what about the demand under the other segments?
Other than tractors, so all agricultural machinery, the thanks of the GST reduction, the all other agricultural segment has been developing, increasing demand, and I very much appreciate our colleagues and the supplier partners that we are now working hard to meet the demand to supply not only the tractor but also the all machines to the delivery to the customers.
So, Mr. Nanda, how has it changed things on the factory floor? Suddenly there was a rise in demand, and first of all, do you feel that this demand is going to sustain in the times to come?
So Danesh, is a good question. From our point of view, India, when you look at mechanization, we're only at 47% when you compare to China and United States of America, which is at 90%. Our population dependence is nearly 45 to 50%. So I think India has a very large headroom in terms of opportunity growth. Also vis-a-vis the per acreage mechanization, and with the opportunity of what we can produce, the opportunity of machines, not just tractors, but the entire agri produce. I mean, our partnership now, Escorts and Kubota. Kubota is one of the largest companies in the world. So this partnership is not only strengthening the range of application of tractors which are required for the newer generation of cultivators, but also like Kubota is bringing in and has brought in, and we're doing very well in India with harvesters, rice transplanters. So we are manufacturing and bringing in full solution to our farming community. So the huge room for growth.
Right. Kato-san, I would like to ask you that, the partnership between Escorts and Kubota, it is not new. It has been more than 5 to 6 years. First of all, what has been the biggest learning lesson for both the companies, and what sort of synergy can we expect further in the years to come?
The very good questions. First, we were struggling in understanding each other, what is the benefit of the or synergy effects of both Escorts and Kubota, but by the exchanging lots of discussions, meeting and understanding each other and sessions, and finally we understood the each strengths, the Indians agility or frugal and speed and flexibility, which Japanese, the most of the Japanese don't have. The Kubota learned a lot from the sports, and Kubota has introduced the process, the quality control and the quality assurance knowledge, and the developing process. They finally we have establishing a new product development process, or the many process that installed in the our company, and finally the established. They now started working well by collaboration each other.
Great. Mr. Nanda, Escorts has a very rich legacy and a history. And if you look at the history of the company, it goes back way well before 1947. But over the past few years, we have seen that you have had a recent partnership with Escorts Kubota. When it comes to market share, you are there in the top 5. What is your strategy forward to get into the top 3 and eventually become the number 1 when it comes to market share?
So I think this partnership between Escorts and Kubota is one of the most strategic partnership in my opinion. And also the kind of product lineup that we complement with each other actually is what is going to build the future for our company. In the last 4 years, the kind of product development ideas that we have developed between the Japanese engineers and Indian engineers, as Kato-san mentioned, this partnership is more than just a shareholding partnership. It is about creating competence of best of Japan and best of India.
कभी सोचा है जो जेन स्ट्रीट 40,000 करोड़ का अपना प्रॉफिट बना के गया ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग में, वो गए किसकी जेब से?
Creating competence of best of Japan, have created and developed products, and our animation and products for the India that we see today and for the India we see for tomorrow. In the next 3 to 5 years, we are launching products between 8 to 10 products between our 3 brands. So we have just started to actually launch the products which will create the excitement and allurement for the farmers to see the impact of this partnership. I'd like to just say very humbly that in 2025, we, working jointly with Kubota and Escorts, we launched under the Farm Track brand a series called Dromax. And it has been one of the most successful launches we have done in the recent past decade, and we are absolutely stock out. So Kato-san and myself are actually seeing of how we can increase the production capacity. So some of these initiatives on technology and product launches and the right distribution, customer experience will create the kind of impact for the growth that we aspire.
Right. So like you mentioned that you are working to increase your market share and increase in production. So does it really also call for another factory somewhere in the country, or you're happy with the current factory setup that you have?
Like Kato-san to start, I'll supplement him.
Yeah, please elaborate on the growth plans. Do you believe, like, since there is a lot of demand for tractors, especially after the GST cut, and India is a country which never stops building, every day or the other you find some of the construction here or there happening. So do you plan to set up some more plants across the country?
The plants?
Yeah.
Now we are under discussion internally, and not yet finalized, but we believe we must need to establish developing the other plant to meet the picking up demand. So thanks to the demand increase of not only the tractor, but combine harvester, rice transplanter, and construction equipment. All agricultural and construction equipment industry has been increasing, and we can expect further increase. The continuous increase. Then in these markets, we are planning to introduce the many hit products to increase market share in the increase the market. So definitely we need to consider the setting up the new plant, the premise. Now we have been discussing.
Yeah. So could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so Danesh, as Kato-san mentioned, our plans are not just for India, but also for the world. Kubota is present in more than 100 countries. So of course, we want to be extremely successful, and we are very bullish for the Indian market. but our plans dovetail not only for the opportunity that we see in the Indian market, but also for the world market where Kubota has strong brand presence and distributors. So we are looking at capacities which we have in our home state. As he mentioned, we are currently in a very advanced stage of negotiation with another state, where we will create one of the most state-of-the-art manufacturing plant of the Kubota production system standards, which will create the standards of products and flexibility of the kind of products that we would like to manufacture for the Indian market and for the global market.
Right.
So our company will be to serve India to India and India to the world from Escorts Kubota.
Yes. Sorry, please.
After you, please.
Yeah, our vision is we are the base of production base of not only the India domestic but also production base of all across the world. Providing the products with all entire Kubota group, the network, to more than 100 countries. That we have a sales network to wait for our future tractors and other products.
Right. So if there are going to be more factories, there's going to be more investment. If there's going to be more investment, then your capex will go up. Yes. So first of all, if we talk about the current financial year, what was your targeted capex? How much of that have you utilized till now? And how do you plan to deploy the remaining capex for the rest of the year?
So Danesh, we are very fortunate. Our balance sheet is very, very strong. We are a zero debt company. We have cash reserves of nearly $1 billion. And in addition to that, every year we are also generating surplus cash. So surplus cash after the normal capex that we invest in any single year between 300 to 400 crores. So we are extremely comfortable in modernizing our current facilities, creating the global R&D of the kind to develop products that I talked about or Kato-san talked about, and also for the products and new products, because we're bringing in technology from Kubota and also bringing in technology from Escorts. And that's going to create the differentiation that we would want to make for our farmers. So capex on regular annualized, 300 to 400, and we have enough cash reserves for growth for the next 5 to 6 years, 10 years.
Right. So now talking a bit about the financials, first half of this financial year has largely or majorly been positive for Escorts Kubota. But going down future, for the remaining few quarters, first of all, what was the target that you had set for yourself? Are you well on path to achieve those targets?
And up, please.
Targets on top line profit?
Yes.
So, we are preparing our midterm business plan, which is what we are under preparation. We are going to be presenting it to our board of directors sometime in February, March 2026. And thereafter, we are going to be showcasing that to our shareholders. So that talks about our aspirations in all aspects of products, capex in the current facility, the greenfield, spare parts, even an ag solution, because that's an additional portfolio we have got after Kubota's partnership. So I believe that I don't want to give any specific numbers, but we are very much aligned along with our team. Kato-san and myself for the last couple of months, we are discussing of how we are going to execute the strategy for the next 5 years. And it's a very deep discussion we are having with our board, with our leadership team, so that we are totally prepared once we start to execute, which starts from next year. So we are confident of achieving what we have set forth.
Right. Anything that you would like to add, Kato-san?
As I said earlier, so after merging and establishing Escorts Kubota Limited 3 years back, we have struggling in the stabilizing, but finally stabilized our system. And during this period, the many of the Indian leaders who knows both the strengths of Japan and India, now ready to start developing, producing many products every year. So we are now ready to expand the business as an MTBP, midterm business plan.
Right. So now coming to the margins, how are the margins right now? Or are you satisfied with them, or dil mange more?
They'll always mange more.
Need to expand the business as an MTBP, midterm business plan.
Right. So now coming to the margins, how are the margins right now? Or are you satisfied with them or dil mange more?
They'll always mange more, you know. So, you know, we have a very strong policy on margins, and we are also looking at our peers. We also want to be a benchmark in terms of more profitability, return on capital employed. We are looking at shareholder returns. So, of course, Kato-san and myself are very, very, watchful of what kind of investment and the prioritization of the investment. So margin is most definitely a very high priority. So we want to grow profitably. We want to grow in market share, but we also want to grow in profit share. I'd like Kato-san to add to that as well. Please.
Yeah, but different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So besides that, if we look at, I mean, like if we move a bit away from the tractor business and from the farming business, you're also big when it comes to the construction equipment business. And but when we look at the things within this space, things haven't been that positive for the company as per your latest balance sheets in terms of market share and sales of the construction equipment. First of all, sir, why?
आजकल सब बोलते हैं SIP स्टार्ट कर, कब, कहाँ, कैसे और कितना, ये
latest balance sheets in terms of to tractors and the other agri-related business. But why do you believe that CE is kind of lagging?
So Danish, it's a good question. So we are bullish for agriculture business and also construction business. As Kato-san rightly mentioned, you know, Kubota is number one globally on mini excavators.
Yeah.
A leader, absolutely a leader, and a number two is a distant from Kubota globally. Also, there are many other products and equipment that Kubota manufactures and markets in markets like North America, Europe. And those are some of the next generation products when it comes to construction and the kind of construction activity and the modernization that we're seeing in India. So I think the leverage and the opportunity of this partnership is that we have the technology within the group of Kubota, and the kind of product planning that we have will create the kind of growth that we aspire for. But I also like to mention that our presence in the CE, other than now that we are marketing and distributing mini excavators and expanding their range, is in the crane segment. And there we are a significant player and a leader in some categories. So for the current year context, if you are referring to the growth, there is a bit of a slowdown because of certain activities and spend from the government. But I believe that as Prime Minister Modi talks about infrastructure thrust and infrastructure investment, that the principles and the fundamentals are very, very strong. So we are also developing products in construction equipment as we are doing for tractors, that every year we are going to launch new platforms which will create the kind of positioning of application and growth.
Right. And so like in the course of the interview, it was mentioned that you will be making in India not only for the domestic market, but also for exports. So what is your plan for exports? Which are the important regions which you're focusing at the moment, and which countries or probably regions will see more and more focus from your side?
At this moment, we focus on the Europe first. For smaller tractors and the compact tractor ranges, we have a significant, we have gained some certain market share, the positions established, and also the ASEAN countries and the Central and the South America. So many countries were exporting a tractor and some construction equipment. And now still we have discussing with Kubota Japan, but we are planning to produce here the localizing tractor for the United States and Canada and North America and the other countries within the next midterm business plan period within 5 years. So now we are planning to do that. Also. We're planning to developing the African countries by introducing the tractors and also engines and some construction equipment, and to getting the penetrating into the new markets.
Right, sir.
So I think Kato-san has answered very well.
Yeah.
So all the markets he's already spoken to you. So I'll give you just an estimate that current year from 6% on top line, we intend to go beyond and above 15% in the next 4 to 5 years. And second, also strategically speaking, there after COVID in Europe, for example, there is a new segment that has emerged, which are tractor manufacturers coming from India and Korea. So strategically speaking, now you have a segment which is a premium segment of tractors, and then you have the segment which is more a basic segment, where Escorts Kubota strategically will anchor and partner Kubota globally in markets. So we have a brand called EK, which is already supporting and growing very well in Europe. So as Kato-san mentioned, it will grow in larger tractors in other markets with time to come.
Right. So besides that, we are seeing that the Indian government is in active negotiations for free trade agreements. We are expected to sign one with EU very soon, and then we are also in a bilateral trade talks with the US. First of all, your views on this and the benefits that your company can get out of this.
So personally speaking, I believe in open trade. We have our government and our Prime Minister has a vision of India becoming the third largest economy in the world. Which means that we need to have good relationships, we need to support one another. And I do believe that India can become a hub of supporting other countries in need. And I think these negotiations are extremely healthy and positive. And I do expect personally that these negotiations and these agreements will allow opportunities for Escorts Kubota to do trade in manners which serve both the countries' interest.
Right. Anything else, anything that you would like to add on, sir?
I believe the same. The current situation will be solved, and we keep carefully watching the situation. But at this moment, we won't change any our vision and to expand to the export market to the United States and other countries.
Right.
We have a strong aspiration to be a global hub here.
Okay. So the government has also recently come out with the new emission norms for tractors. How are you aligning your company with that? And do you believe that once you transition into the new norms, there could be a price hike?
So we support the emission journey. We are also very conscious that our products have to be environmentally friendly. So apart from the regulations that are going to be imposed on all the industry, we welcome it. We are also looking at alternate technology for the future. But it is our understanding that the TMA, the tractor manufacturing industry, is in discussion with the government, where the BP5, which earlier was pegged to release in April 2028, is going to get postponed. So they are discussing about maybe TREM 3A. So we are understanding and we are going to be compliant. We have done our research and investments. So it's not a concern for us at all. So we will be prepared. And as Kato-san mentioned, we are also looking at environment regulations for the world. So our engines are actually also being developed for emission norms which are perhaps equally or more stricter. So we are prepared from engineering point.
But would it also lead to price hike?
So Danish, that's one of the reasons that I understand that the government is sensitive and is accepting the postponement of Duty 5, because you're absolutely correct. That would have created some increase. And now, as you know, that the tractor industry bulk is between 30 and 50 horsepower. So this segment, at least for now, should not get the kind of impact which if Bharat BT5 would have been executed, that cost escalation would have been a little bit more.
And anything on the tax rates? We have seen the corporate tax has been cut a while back. Every Indian industry is happy. The personal income tax rate has also been cut. But do you also feel that there's some more room for the Indian government to cut some more taxation heads?
You see, I don't want to talk about personal tax, but as for corporate tax, I think, we can always say there's always a little bit more room. But, the aspect is that, we are a company that has good cash, we are good taxpayers, but all the tax that we pay and if anything else is left out, we are basically investing for the future. And it's not just capacity. Now with Kubota, we are actually creating the know-how and knowledge, because that really is going to be the real capital.
Right.
So to India to rub shoulders with other developed countries our country really needs to invest in technology and innovation. We are talking and hearing about AI, we're talking about machine learning. So I would like our government to incentivize and encourage our industry to innovate and to focus on the future, so that not only we develop products for today, but we also develop products which India can aspire for 2035 or 2040.
And so very lastly, my one last question, what can we look forward to in the new financial year from the company side? If you can sum it up in just 2-3 sentences.
So, I completed 30 years in this company, and for me personally, it is one of the most positive, happy moment as an individual, as an Indian, and as a professional. This vision and the aspiration that I had of bringing a Kubota Japanese major into Indian market and Escorts coming in, one is that we have made this company into an institution. So that now it's an Indian-Japanese company. That's one aspect that gives me immense satisfaction. Second, from next year onwards, the kind of products that we're going to introduce in ag, in construction, backed by the customer experience of the best of Japan, the best of India, I don't believe any of our stakeholders have even tasted that.